Hey everyone, back with another video today. I wanted to talk about something that kind of ties into what I talked about in my last video, which was excuses. So in that video I was explaining how excuses can be used to your advantage, and also how obviously not all excuses are equal. If you have a broken leg, you're not going to go for a run. That is a big difference that I wanted to elaborate in that. Many people have medical issues that prevent them from doing certain things, and that's okay. What I wanted to talk about in this one was how to overcome limited equipment. So, if you can't afford the equipment, or as of right now in COVID, a lot of the time you can't even find the equipment that you need. I've obviously said push-ups, sit-ups, and squats are always good things. If you can find a pull-up bar somewhere, that is always a valuable asset as well. But what I want to talk about today was more so how you can use things that are non-traditional in order to weightlift. Now, I'm not saying make a barbell out of a broomstick. I've seen people do that and it end up horribly. What I'm talking about is using a backpack, for example. And I know this sounds silly, but you can easily fill up a backpack with book bags, like just textbooks. I remember how heavy my backpack was in high school, and I didn't even take that many courses. And it's very easy to use that for tons of things. You could use that for behind the head tricep extensions, for bicep curls. But what I was going to talk about was more so using it in strongman context. So if you filled it up enough, you could even do stair climbs with it. So you put it in your hands and then you lift it onto the next stair, or you squat it up onto the next stair and then you step up and then do it again. The other thing you could do with it is you could do sort of a shield carry where you hold it in front of you like this, or you could do an over the shoulder carry where you keep it on your shoulder and you maybe run back and forth keeping it up. Those are some strongman type things. Just because you don't have a barbell or dumbbells doesn't mean you can't do an overhead press. I mean, I created a sandbag. I don't have it anymore. I'm actually going to get a new one that's around, I think it's 250 pounds is what it's estimated to be when filled up with sand. My previous one wasn't a true sandbag. It was actually rubber mulch inside of a basic normal like camping bag, because I didn't have anything strong enough to hold heavy sand, so that's what I used. And the thing is, that's all you need. You can do overhead presses with that. You can even do bent over rows with something that simple, as long as you can grip it. Obviously you can do squats with just about any weight that you can put behind your shoulders, or even in front. You know, you can always do more of a front facing squat, or just hold it in the front and squat. I mean, there's so many different advantages to simply having heavy items around the house. You know, books are obviously great for if you're using a book bag. If you can go to, say, a Home Depot or anything like that and get rubber mulch or get sand or anything of that sort, obviously that's going to be super useful, and you can put those in a bag, and obviously as long as the bag is sturdy, you have something to lift with. Obviously, if it's a bag that's not completely sealed, I would recommend going something for more like rubber mulch than sand. Sandbags, you really typically want to get a true sandbag, because they're multiple layered and they're made not to split open, because sand is very heavy. Another thing is, there's a lot of times where you can make excuses about this and just say, well, you know, I don't have the dumbbells to do the overhead press. You can easily find a way to make weight out of things. Like I said, the book bag is one that I keep coming back to, but mainly because it's so useful. You can, even if, for example, if you just have a few dumbbells, but you keep running out of weight, so like you only have up to 30s, for example. This was what was a problem with me for a long time. Fill up a bag with all of the dumbbells on the set, and then overhead press it combined. Now again, you want to make sure things are sturdy. You don't want to use something that is not practical and could easily rip, and you definitely don't want to use something that is too flexible and could fall on your head. That's obviously not a good idea. That's why rubber mulch is also really useful, because it's not like having a dumbbell fall on your head. Obviously, if you can buy actual weightlifting equipment and you want to have normal weightlifting equipment, that's great. But I'm kind of more so talking about the people who don't have the money or are trying to go for something more so strongman based. And with strongman, you're going to be using non-traditional instruments all the time. I mean, I can't even think of a single strongman event that is traditional, except maybe a normal barbell squat. But even that, it's typically huge barbells with funny looking drums on them to make it look like it's bigger than it is, because people like a show, and that's kind of where strongman came from. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you can make something to be useful to help you do a workout, why wouldn't you, in my opinion? Obviously, be safe, be cautious. I'm not your doctor, I'm not your trainer, I'm not your physical therapist, so I definitely cannot advise you on what lifts you can do. I'm just giving people ideas on if they have limited equipment and they want to try and make the best of a bad situation, because I know right now specifically, for example, there's this weight set that my girlfriend has that's just a lightweight vinyl set. She was able to get it a while ago for around $40, if I remember right. And on Amazon right now, it's selling for $300. $299.99, but $300. And the fact of the matter is, this is a lot because of people freaked out when COVID happened and they weren't going to be able to go to the gym. So the amount of home gym equipment that was bought was immense. And obviously, if you have a home gym, use it. But I'm saying that if you can't afford a home gym, or even if you just want to switch up your training, don't be afraid to find an alternative way to lift weights. Now, don't be one of those goofy Instagram vloggers who's leg pressing their couch. Doing certain things like that, one, is dangerous, and two, oftentimes because of the actual angle and where the joint is that's lifting up and down, they're not even lifting any weight. And I mean, if you look just on YouTube, for example, on how to make simple weights and stuff, it's honestly quite incredible what you'll find. There's tons of different things. If you look up how to make a sandbag or a rubber mulch bag or anything like that, or if you look up how to just different household items that you can use as weights. There's a lot of really cool stuff on there. Now, obviously, don't be the Instagrammers who are curling their dog, like bicep curling their dog. That's silly. Use normal actual weight. Don't lift your dog. I know Jeff Nippard made a video on this because a lot of people were making silly videos, so he was actually talking about fundamental things that you can do that will help you and that you can do as training while you're waiting. And he has a joke video as well about one where he has a guy curling milk jugs and drinking as he goes. Not that milk jugs aren't heavy and people could use them, but I'm saying don't be an Instagram fitness star and do really silly things for clout like that. Go for what's actually going to be beneficial, useful, and what's actually going to aid in your development, your strength, and your size. Obviously, depending on your goals. If you are somebody who's into cardio and you don't have a treadmill, the outdoors is always a great place to go. Obviously, that's not applicable to everyone, so I understand that, especially if you're in a city. You can't always go outside, especially when lockdowns are in place, so I understand. Sometimes that might mean you're just going to be running up and down the stairs, and I totally get that. But my point is, with limited equipment, you can always find a way. I have in the past. Sometimes it does require you having $10 or $20 to buy some rubber mulch. But ultimately, if you have the desire to actually find implements that you can make yourself, you will. And like I said, I've done it in the past and it worked great for me. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, keep your shoulders back and down when you're benching, and I'll see you in the next one.